Good morning, everybody from beautiful Brisbane. It's great to be here with you this morning. And we're just doing a little pop up show because we had the opportunity and we wanted to touch base with everyone. So, good morning, Anaya Joholili.
Good morning, darling girl. Hello, everyone. We we were just sitting here having a chat about some things, and Carol Ann said, "Well, let's do it. Let's go live." And it was just one of those really beautiful experiences because it reminded me, Carol Ann, that every moment's a good moment.
Yes.
And when you're in that feeling, in that time of, and I said to you, "Well, what are we going to talk about?" I'm like, "Okay, what are we going to call it?" Okay, what was the title? And I was so betwixt and between, but it was great because having your support meant I didn't get caught up in that.
Yeah, yeah.
Too much.
And I think that, this is part of us accepting all of the experiences we're having at the moment, all of the things that we're feeling within our body, all of the messages that are coming to us from spirit and from our angels and everybody, because at the moment there's just so much happening, not just in the physical world, but also in the angelic realms and the spiritual realms, that sometimes it just seems a little bit poor, and we have to stop for a moment and take our breath and then deal with what's happening. And I think that's what I have been feeling the last couple of days, and I'm quite sure other people are feeling the same sort of thing. So
Yeah, it's been a last couple of weeks for me, as you know, Carol Ann, and I have felt. And so, how are you guys doing? How are you feeling about everything? How are you managing your day-to-day lives? How are you managing the various ranges of emotions? I was speaking to a Facebook friend on the other day, and she was saying she's in the wave of sadness right now. So check in with how you're feeling. I had to do that. As you know, Carol Ann, I've been really feeling a lot of reluctance about being anywhere near the internet. I've been putting a few things up on our pages because it matters to me to do that. But then I've been stepping back. And so the other day I thought to myself, oh, I'm just struggling with this so much. Okay, what are you saying to me, body? Body, what do you want me to know about the way I'm feeling? And then my body let me know really clearly, you need to just stop and rest a while.
yeah.
And then suddenly that felt really right to me, Carolyn, and I could see how important that was for me. And yesterday, I watched 2 movies in the daytime. And it was awesome. And I got completely swept away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that checking out of what we call reality, that checking out of what's happening right now in my physical world actually did me the world of good, because it allowed me to go into my fantasy world, which is very rich anyway, and very important to me. It's a beautiful place to be. And it just meant my brain stopped. That's why the movies were so good for me, because my brain stopped thinking and I was just focusing and concentrating on what I was experiencing and witnessing through the movie.
And this is it. We need to listen to our body. I have been doing something similar. We've been doing a little bit of binging on Netflix, because I can then completely switch off also from everything that's happening in the world and that. And then last night, really early, it was like my body just said, "You need to go to bed, and you need to go to bed now." And it was most unusual for me to go to bed that early, but it was very early and I had a really good night's sleep, and I feel much better for it today. But the other message that I've been getting is about checking up on our friends and everybody just to see how they're traveling. And I think that this is pretty good. I've spoken to a few friends over the last few days, and instead of just having a little "how are you, what you doing, how's your day, oh okay, have fun when you go out today," they've been quite long conversations, and it's like we're weaving this web of friendship and love back into where it used to be, because we're not rushing around doing everything, and we're going to this still place within, that we're able to be more conscious of where we are and where they are, and the value of having friends that we can just pick up the phone, friends and family, and we can just pick up the phone and chat
Yeah.
to them and let them know we're thinking about them.
And that's such a good point. So how are you guys experiencing it? We don't have a stream keeper. So if you've joined us on Facebook or on YouTube live, welcome for a start. I'm going to see, I'm actually not very good at it. I'm not going to see it all. I don't like the feeling of this, that I'm not paying attention to where I'm at with you guys. So how are you feeling? Are you feeling supported? Are you feeling that you have people that you can reach out and speak to about how you're truly feeling? Because some days, and we spoke about this the other day, didn't we, Caroline, in riding the wave, and then when the wave feels too much, are you feeling that, you know, you're riding the wave, or you feel like, or do you feel like the waves just got, you know? And if you do feel that, that's okay. You have to be okay with that, because it's such an unusual experience for us. But like you, Caroline, I'm having these wonderful, long conversations with people. And because I'm not feeling like, well, I've got to get this done, I've got to get that done, I've only got this, you know, go. Suddenly it's like, well, I just am here.
Yeah.
I could just be in the conversation, and I'm having to recharge my phones 2 or 3 times a day because I'm speaking with people so much, and I feel really enriched by that.
Yes. It is amazing how enriched we can feel. And the other thing too is it's a wonderful form of networking away from the screens. You know, we're just doing the voice. And I was talking to a friend this morning, and he was telling me in his conversation how 2 of my other friends, what they are doing and things like that, because I hadn't had a chance to talk to them. So, you know, just reminded me to talk to them. And you know, with our families and that, you know, yesterday it was great. We could use FaceTime and talk to our daughter and grandchildren and son-in-law, and you know, it just, the connection is there, even if we can't go and physically hug them, that we can't be with them over Easter and the school holidays and all of the things that we normally would do. But we're not completely cut off, because we have Zoom, we have FaceTime, we have telephones. And so even if it's not exactly the same way as it normally is, we still have a way of being in contact with one another. You know, we always have that heart connection, but to be able to hear the voices and to just feel the energy and all of those wonderful things, we're just so blessed. We really and truly are. And so it's about us. Yes, we're going to have moments that we're not going to feel like we're on top of the wave, but it's about accepting this is an experience none of us have ever had before. And so, you know, don't be hard on yourself when you're down there in the bottom of the wave, because you are going to come back up to the top again, and just enjoy it. And you and I have both done Doreen Virtue workshops, and one of the meditations I remember Doreen doing, and this is like a little bit sideways here, but it's one that we were riding the waves with the dolphins. And so then we had to picture a rainbow and pick a colour out of the rainbow. And we slid down that particular colour under the water on the back of the dolphins. So at the moment when I'm feeling a little bit like the wave is overwhelming me, I try to replace it by the colours of the rainbow, and thinking that, okay, I'm on this roller coaster, I'm down the bottom, but when I get back up there again, that beautiful rainbow is going to be shining brightly and colourful, and that I can bring that into my life, and it helps me come down there in the bottom, because I'm still in the same colour, but the colour is different when I come back up to the top of the wave.
Isn't that great, Caroline? Because when you go down in the colour, if you notice what the colour is, that'll tell you which chakra you're working with at that time. So what type of underlying feelings you may have. Yes. And I think the other really important thing to remember here is when we have a wave, we know what it's like at the beach. The wave comes in and boom, the sand gets churned up, everything. So what's in there? What's being revealed to us when we go through this feeling of being dumped by the wave? And, you know, in order to get gold, you've got to sift through the mud.
Exactly.
So there is gold for us in this experience. There is so many levels of opportunity that, you know, just for me anyway, I can only speak for myself. For me, it's taken me a bit of time to really get my head around that, because I just missed certain things so much, as you know. I mean, I've had days on the phone with Carol Ann where I've just been beside myself, haven't I? Feeling this incredible loss and grief. You know, I'm missing my time with my family. I'm missing my time with my friends. I'm missing my time with my grandchildren. But when I am willing to go through that, and by the time we sort of get off the phone, because you're such a wonderful person to speak with and share with, by the time we get off the phone, the revelations are starting to come through that this is something not to be resisted, because what we resist persists. We know that.
Yeah.
But something to be embraced as an opportunity to get under those feelings, because under those feelings lies peace.
Yeah.
Denying the feelings, again, is resisting. We deny it, we resist it, it will persist. Getting under them, being willing to go through it and get under them, and then we start seeing what's really there, and up we come again.
Yeah. And that's just really wonderful. And the other thing that they're reminding me about is that, you know, the water is all about emotion. Water is emotion. And a little tiny bit of a dream that I had the other night was I was coming along to the edge of a precipice. And it was like, you have to step out into the void, Carol. And there were these steps down the side of this very steep precipice. And then there was water all down the bottom there. You have to take the steps down. So I took the steps down like rungs in a ladder. And then I'm going deeper into the water, and I'm saying to them, but I can't open my eyes under the water. I can't open my eyes under the water. And they said, open your eyes under the water and you will see. And so I stepped down and I was fully under the water. I was able to breathe and I could see everything under the water. And that to me was a wonderful lesson that they gave me, that when we step out there and we step into the emotion, rather than resisting it, open your eyes, see what it's all about, and you'll see that it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be, and you're going to be all right. So
and you will see your direction.
a really wonderful thing that they showed me in my dream the other night.
And you're having some really rich dreams at the moment, which is great. And so, you know, if you're having dreams, pay attention to them. What are your dreams about? How are you feeling in those dreams? I had a dream the other night too, which I shared with Carol Ann, and it was really kind of so strange in so many ways, because I was at this cafe, but I couldn't go in the cafe naturally. But around the corner from the cafe, like on the side of the building, was another little room, and it was a beauty salon, right? And for some reason, my two daughters were running it. So they were running this beauty salon. And then a woman came out, and I'm sitting in the cafe by myself, and she came up with her notepad like she was going to take my coffee order, and she said, right, $110, I can cut your hair, what do you want? And I remember saying to her, oh, I don't think I could pay $110 to have my hair cut. Now, to some people, $110 is nothing to have your hair cut, right? So that was kind of strange. She had this fabulous short, dark hair, you know, my hair envy she had. But it was me saying to her, no, that doesn't feel right for me. So I let that one go, as much as I wanted to. And in my mind is going, pay it, just pay it, just pay it. Your hair will look fantastic. So here's this inner turmoil being revealed to me. So I decided not to do that. And I moved to the side of the building, and all of a sudden there were 12 levels of these steps encased. It was full of water. And the water was only about, not even calf deep. about that level, and every level had a mosaic, and it was beautiful. And as I began to walk down the levels, it led me to a gate with open fields. So it's about going through what my mind is telling me I really want or really need. It's about making the choices and then going through the emotional experiences and being willing to keep moving forward. And I can still see my feet standing with this beautiful mosaic in blues. And oh, I don't know what the image was, but it was so beautiful. And as I went down, the images got more and more muted, and they began to disappear until I was standing there looking out at this beautiful field. So I was lifting myself up out of it and going toward the peace and the calm and the feeling of freedom.
Yeah.
So paying attention to our dreams is really important. If you've got a good friend like I have with Carol Ann, and you can, yes, so we can talk about it, and it helps sort of reveal more and more. Write them down. Keep a dream journal right now. Yeah. And we were also discussing, Carol Ann, weren't we, about the amount of as light workers, the amount of work we are doing for the planet right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is it. I haven't slept very well for weeks. And Anaya said to me the other day, she said, okay, she said, you're doing a lot of work at night. You just talk to them before you go to sleep and tell them that you're prepared to do the work, but you need to have a good night's sleep as well. And so that's what I've done for the last 3 nights. I talk to them as I'm going to sleep. I do my gratitude, I do my prayers, and then I talk to the spirit world and to all of the others out there that I do work with, and tell them, you know, I'm happy to do the work, but I need to have a good night's sleep so that I can still function in this human body while I'm here. And so I've talked to them the first night. As I'm talking to them, I can't explain the amount of activity that was going on all around me. It was just absolutely amazing, all of the different friends. And I have a particular guide who's from Syria and Sirius. And you know, he's there guarding me all the time and looking after me. And since I've spoken to them every night, the last 3 nights, I have had 3 nights of the best sleep I have had for months and months. And so, you know, maybe this is something that, you know, if you feel you need to say, even if you just talk to Archangel Michael or your angels or guides and say to them, you know, you're prepared to do the work, but you need to have a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
I don't remember what work I'm doing, but I know I'm working out there at night. Yeah. And so we all are, because this is part of our role here in this lifetime as light workers, because we are just so blessed to be here at this time. So we may not know what our contract is in this lifetime until we make our transition. But, you know, when we can do these things and be there to support one another, I think is amazing. Yeah. Really amazing.
Really valuable. And as you so rightly pointed out, we need to have that balance between our spiritual activity and what our bodies require in order to feel balanced and rested and healthy. So this is something for you to think about as well. We don't even have to be aware of the work we're doing off planet while we are sleeping.
Yep.
But the fact is, if you feel you're a light worker, or whatever term you use for that type of work, you need to make sure that you've got good boundaries around this. Definitely. Now, I remember back again to Doreen Virtue back in the day when she was doing all her work with the angels. And when I came back from the advanced course, I fell in an absolute hole. I was just terrified all the time because I had all these souls coming to me while I slept, but they were all murder victims. And they were showing me how they were murdered, and they were begging me to help. And I really felt like I was going loopy. So I rang a friend I'd done the course with, and she said, Anaya, have you forgotten? Remember when Doreen said, you have to have good boundaries. And if this is not your work, if you don't feel it's your work, all you have to do is call Archangel Michael and the Band of Mercy to take over, direct them on. We can get a little bit waylaid thinking we've got to save everything. We've got to work for everyone. We've got to be putting more in ways that don't feel supportive to us. So really good, strong spiritual boundaries are very important. So I did that. I said to them all as they came, this is not my work. Archangel Michael and his Band of Mercy are here.
Yes.
You'll know Michael. You will feel Michael. I can feel Michael here now. He's got his hand on my shoulder. Oh, it's beautiful. You will know him. You will know his strength. You will know his courage, but mostly you will know his light. You will recognize him as a light being from our beautiful Creator. You will be safe with Michael. Go with Michael. And one by one, they all peeled away and off they went.
Yeah.
And received, I'm certain, exactly the help that they required.
Definitely.
So never be afraid to choose what is right for you. You will not be letting anyone down, because there's a magnificent team, far greater, wider, deeper, more magnificent than anything we can even envision.
Yeah.
So the support is there for us and for everybody else.
Yes, definitely. And you know, we need to, as you say, it's so important for us to have that balance between our spiritual and our physical lives. And to run yourself down physically, your physical body is not going to help either of you, the parts of you, the physical or the spiritual, because we need to nurture this physical body. We can't help anybody unless we know how to do it for ourselves. So never feel that you are letting someone else down if you have had to put up a barrier, because boundaries and barriers are so important. And I found that out quite a bit in the last few weeks, actually, because sometimes you just think, oh, you know, how can I help this person? But sometimes there has to be a little bit of tough love, and the person has to be able to help themselves, because it's not your job to heal everybody and to help everybody. You will know if it's your job, because in here, in your heart, you will know. So just be willing to do what feels right for you, and listen to the messages that you get. No, I had to listen to a message that I received about something I was going to start doing on Zoom on a Monday night. And my guide said to me, no, Carol, it's not, you're not right. You need a little bit more rest and time for you before you start this. And so I listened to them. And even though several of the people were disappointed, I said, I have to listen to the messages from my guides and my angels, and we'll start it next week. Yeah. And that'll be fine. We will start it next week, because I will be in a better place, both physically and spiritually. Because, you know, this balance that we have between the two is so important for us each and every day of this life we're here on this planet. And going through this difficult time, well, gosh, we were meant to be here at this time. This is why we came back at this time.
Yeah.
But that's another big story, isn't it?
Another big story. It's a beautiful story too. And I just want to reinforce what you said, because I feel it's so important. You won't be letting anybody down, because, hey, if you begin to let yourself down by overcompensating, by taking on more than you can actually happily do that feels nurturing and gentle. And, you know, the angels once said to me, it's so perfect. They say, where there's no flow, there's no go.
Yep, very true.
So if there's no flow, stop. Even if it means you've got to stop and stop and stop and stop and stop, because that's part of the journey. Part of our journey is learning how to listen, not with these. We get confused sometimes. We need to listen. Shh. Go within, be quiet. Now, if you're anything like me, I find meditation just so difficult, but I do it in other ways.
Yeah.
I do it in other ways. I've got my beautiful bell, and sometimes I just ring the bell and listen to the frequency that is of that note. That note is containing a lot of information for me. That note will never, ever be rung again in that way. That note is singing to me, whispering to me. Pay attention. Do it your own way.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong with meditation. It can be whatever suits you, both
That's exactly right.
you are within, the way your family situation is. No, there's no right or wrong with meditation. And even if you just have 30 seconds of just relax, just stop. You and I both on the same wavelength there. I was going to reach over and pick mine up as well.
I think you should.
All right.
Let's do. Oh, here we go. We've got one that just says, you know what? This is the one. Oh, look at this. Now, hey, guys, if this is not an absolute affirmation of everything we've just been talking about. Hang on. I found these. Yeah, there we go. No, there we go. Love is in the air. And you remember the John Paul Young song?
Yeah.
Love is in the air. Do, do, do. Oh, it's such a cool song.
Yep.
Now, this card is talking about the romance angels, right?
That one.
However, you got a jumper as well. It says the romance angels are here to inform you that there is an interesting development about to take place in your love life. Now, for me, the guidance I'm getting about this card, it's about the love life we have with ourselves. We need to romance ourselves. How do we want to be treated? How do we want to be loved? What courtesies do we want to be paid? That's what we've got to do for ourselves. All of that. Sometimes we get mistaken thinking that romance is about what somebody else gives to us. If you really look deeply into the romance of anything, there's a gentle curve in there. There's a gentle ebb and flow. So love is in the air. Breathe it in. Okay, breathe it in. Breathe that love in. And then breathe it out into the world. If you just close your eyes, even for a moment, guys, close your eyes right now with me. Unless you drive me, of course, in which case you shouldn't be watching anyway. Tough love. Okay, so just close your eyes and just get still in your own space just for a minute. Feel the love. You might feel a pink, beautiful swirling all around you. It might be a haze. It might be beautiful pink clouds. It could be anything. And breathe that in. Bring it down from the heavens into your body and breathe it in. It enriches you. Breathe it back out into the world. And a little part of your love now is also in every part of that breath. And that breath is infinite. So therefore your love is infinite. So just do that a couple of times a day. Just breathe it in and then breathe it out. And know that for every part of you that is feeling that, and even the parts that aren't, you're being nourished by that love as well. Good. Oh, again, credit where credit's due. Angel Oracle Feather by Oracle or whatever. Okay, take two. Okay, Angel Feather Oracle by Michelle Newton. MichelleNewton.com. We'll find that. She's got a great app for these cards. The app's fantastic. I was just telling Carol Ann that I really needed a yes or no. And I used the app and it was just like, boom. I could feel, because my head was just crazy with all the what ifs. So there you go. Thanks, Michelle.
Well, the card that was the jumper said, I want to be heard. is the air dragon.
Oh, goosebumps. How perfect.
So see that beautiful blue dragon flying there with all of the beautiful birds around it. And the message is, helps you rise above earthly matters. Now, how important is that for us at this moment? I can't read backwards, so I'm going to have to read the other words. Communicate honestly, brings inspiration and hope. See life from a higher perspective.
Oh, wow.
So, for those people who have met their dragons, we all have dragons, and you know, you don't have to have done a meditation to meet a dragon, but you can actually fly up there with your dragon and you can see the world from that higher perspective. So you see the whole picture, not just the little picture that's all around you. And so these cards, I just love these cards. These are the Dragon Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. And the day that I was guided to do a course with Diana Cooper about the dragons, absolutely changed my way of looking at so many things. I love working with the dragons, and you can do so much with your dragon. So look up Diana Cooper on the web and find out all about the dragons, because Kuan Yin has dragons as well, and hers are the beautiful pink dragons. And you know, the dragon cards and everything are just really awesome. I love them.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And look how the two just work perfectly together. The air, the breath. It's that you as you know, you can't make it up. You just can't.
No, you can't.
So, and so for my birthday, one of the things Carol Ann gave me was a little dragon statue. Look at this little gorgeous baby. I got a story to tell you about this one. So in a dragon meditation at Carol Ann's meditation group, I had met my dragon many years ago, and in fact I painted her in a mural I did in my daughter's bedroom when she was about 7, and in that picture she's like a beautiful mauve color, and she's the shy dragon, right? And she loves having stories read to her. She loves to join in, but she's a little bit, she doesn't want to intrude, and she doesn't want anybody to be scared of her size, because there's fairies in there, and you know, it's beautiful. So anyway, in this meditation, I asked, what's your name? Like so many of us, I wanted to have a name. When she came back with her name, I was a little bit surprised, because her name's Estelle, right? And then in another connection with Estelle, I just love her so much. She had these big button earrings on and a handbag. You know me, I'm a bit of a clothes horse. I love my clothes, love my earrings a lot. So she's connecting with me. Yeah. So anyway, in my house, I have like a little angel and fairy corner. It's just on it's on the bench on the unit, and it's just a circular place where there are all these little angels and fairies, and they've been there for years. So Abby plays with them every time she comes over. 4-year Abby plays with them, and she rearranges them. And I was looking at the other day, and they haven't been rearranged for. So, oh, anyway, I digress. I'll work on that later. So anyway, she's never, ever talked about what their names are. There's just one in particular she sees as her and Bailey. They're sitting on a log, and she's always seen that as her and Bailey. Anyway, I popped Estelle in the circle. She comes over the last time she was here, and she looked at me and she said, Dee, what's the dragon's name?
It's awesome.
There you go.
And I think the important thing about this is, so if anybody has never had anything to do with their dragon, they're not all fearsome and smoke and fire burning. They're absolutely beautiful, gentle creatures. Yes, they all come from the elements. There's fire dragons, and my dragon is Dusty, and she is a blue air dragon. And so, you know, there's just so many of them, and then they're just wonderful to work with. And you know, just even if you don't want to hop on the back of your dragon, which is not going to be all scaly and hard or anything like that, it's actually quite beautiful and smooth when you hop on their back and go for a ride. Start looking at life from a higher perspective.
Yeah.
Don't look at our little tiny bit that's actually where we are. Look at it from the overall point, because you know this also is going to help us to get through this time, because you know we need to think that, you know, if we all do what is asked of us, as hard as that might be at times, because we're huggers. Anaya and I are both huggers, and we both want to hug our children and grandchildren, but we realise the value of staying home, stay safe, wash your hands, and doing all of the things that we're asked to do. And if we do that, we'll get through this quicker.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and also the energy will change, and it'll become more healing. And I think we're going to come through this very different people. You know, the world is going to be different. We're going to look at the things that we value or that we used to value, and now, well, you know, maybe that's not quite as important anymore. But the important thing is to have love in your heart. And, you know, when I had to pop down the road today to get some fresh fruit and veggies. So I thanked everybody who was there that I got stuff with, because I think it's important for us to be nice. I'm lucky I can go for a walk around my area. And it's amazing to see all of the people out walking to get their exercise, keeping their social distance. But just a little smile and a little thank you, a hello, how are you today, as you just walk past. It ripples out, the energy changes all around. And I think that's important. For me, anyway, that's very important to do.
Yeah, same. Walking Sam, my dog, there was a fellow, at first no one was walking their dogs, but now people are out walking their dogs again, and it's great, and people are observing the physical distance, which is really brilliant. And so I saw someone coming with a guy with his little girl, and they're walking their dog, you know, probably, you know, 300 meters up the road. So I thought, well, I may as well cross now. Crossed over on the other side with Sam. We kept walking. As we sort of got to a point, he just said to me, thank you. And I said, no worries, mate.
Yeah.
And he was very grateful. He said, thank you.
Yeah.
So people are beginning to see there are small acts of kindness happening all the time. Just that respect for the physical distance between us.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm coming home and I'm taking my shoes off outside. I'm not wearing them in the house, and then I clean them so that, you know, in a bucket, and I've got soapy water, give them a scrub. As long as, I mean, if washing my hands for 20 seconds does it, it's going to do that for my shoes as well. Leave them soaking there for 10 minutes with some nice soapy water, or, you know, get some icicle or something. But it doesn't matter how you do it. But the thing is, it's the little things, and I'm starting to get quite used to it.
Yeah, I am too. It's just, we're just getting into a different routine, a different way of life.
Yeah. So it's great to be able to come and check in with you all and see how you're doing and have a bit of time with you. It's lovely.
It is. And you know, to let you know that we love you all and we care for you, and you know, where you can put a little line in a comment if you'd like to pass us a message, because we can't do it any other way at this moment. But we just want you to know we think about you, and you know, we want to know you're doing okay.
Yeah. You know, I sent out a message to all the people who have joined me on my website, angellight777.com. And I got a message back. I've had some lovely messages. And, oh, hey, I got a message from someone who wanted to know if they could share their angel experience with me. They haven't got anybody else in their world they can share it with. And they really helped me, Gabriella, hello, really helped me to realize that this would be a great addition to my website. If you have an angel experience you want to send, I'm not quite sure how it's going to look yet, but you can send it through to me, love@angelheartradio.com. And just in the subject line, just put angel message. And I'm going to put them up for people as a support so you can start to read other people's stories. Anyway, you know, Gabrielle, I was so grateful because as they said, I just don't have anyone. And I knew you'd understand. I knew you would understand. So this was really brilliant. And then I got an email from one of the people who follow me on the site. You can become a member. It doesn't require anything of you, but it means you just get some extra things. And Belle wrote and said, oh, what, in big letters, what a lovely surprise to find this here. She said, I'm listening to Angel Heart Radio even more, if that's even possible. And she said, but I especially love it when you're there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I just, my whole heart just went, oh God, thank you. Because sometimes, and I've expressed this to you, Caroline, sometimes I say to you, well, you know, like, sometimes I feel a bit, is what I'm sharing really valuable when so many people are sharing the same types of things? And that reminded me of something else Doreen Virtue said a long time ago, when she was someone that I looked up to and followed. I don't follow her work anymore, but I value greatly and always appreciate everything she taught me so much, so very much. And she said, not everybody wants to read what I have to say, the way I have to say it. Somebody will want to read it the way you have to say it.
Yeah.
And that has just reminded me right this minute about that.
That's so important.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful. Well, this has been great, Caroline.
It's been great. See, we didn't know what we were going to talk about. We managed to
Been
talk.
here for yonks. We've been here for yonks and yonks. I feel like I've been here. I could have bought a picnic. Been here that long. Oh, all right, everyone. Take good care of you. Reach out. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know if you need any support in any way. We'll do whatever we can to support you. Let us know if there's something you want us to talk about. Angellight777.com for me. Carol's angelwings.com for Carol Ann. And thanks for being with us. It's lovely to be in your company.
It's been beautiful, and thank you for being here. And we look forward to hearing from you and talking to you soon. Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, gorgeous.
Bye, darling. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.